Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of JesterCraft YouTube from the JesterCraft server. Today, we're going to be working on the Pillager farm we said we'd work on last episode. This is designed by me, which uses the Pillager spawn point, since on Bedrock Edition they spawn in one spot. It's just that spawn point surrounded with buttons, because they think it's a walkable block, that drop them into water streams, and that push them up into water elevators, and those water elevators, push them into a kill chamber where I can easily just stabby stab kill them all, and that eventually will give me bad open. But we're here to pick up some rocks. Oh, wrong area. We're here to pick up a bunch of rocks because we're going to need something to build with, and I think that thing we're going to build with will be rocks, specifically stone. Lots and lots of stone is what I'm thinking about building with. And eventually we're going to need leaves or scaffolding, because those are the blocks that the raids can't spawn on because of Ravengers not being able to spawn on them. Because to Ravengers, they are a non-existent block, because Ravengers will just break them. And yeah, this raid farm, like I said, was designed by me, so it's not the most efficient farm, but it's my farm. So, like, it's no, like, expert farm, but I designed it and I'm proud of it. And yeah, it's got a few problems, but I'm hoping that I can work those out as soon as possible. Like, sometimes it spawns them on the ground, even if I'm out of ground render distance. But, like, fixing that's not going to be hard. I just have to dig a perimeter. And, like, eh. So, I'm going to get started on building this. First, we're going to want to land up on top of here, eat some berries. And, yeah, just, like, take a look at this outpost. This is the outpost we're going to be using. This place is going to be great when I'm actually finished with it. This entire thing is going to be a farm, right? But around it, I'm going to build a giant mountain with a horse head on it, because this is going to be part of the Cowboy District, or Wild West District we're currently working on. Yeah, that'll be fun. But today, there's something I wanted to talk about while I work on the farm. Moreover, while I push a villager here. Because I've been thinking a lot lately about social, like, not necessarily structure or anything, more like social position. Because recently I've been thinking about that. Because, yeah. But in order for this pillager farm to work, I just like the pillager output. I really like that structure, but in order for it to work, we have to get a villager. So let's go and get one of those. Okay, so we got our villager here. Let's push him in the cart. But as I was saying, push him in the cart. Push him in the cart. All these other villagers keep getting in the way. Anyway, as I was saying, I wanted to talk about social structure since, it's quarantine. I've had a lot of time to think. I've just been having a lot of time sitting here and thinking. Now that I think about it, I'm just like, I dissociate a lot, where I just don't think about situations, and they don't really hit me because I don't know about you, but I think of things as like, I think of myself as a different entity to myself. Like, mentally, I refer to myself as a different person than myself. Like, the thing thinking is different than the thing responding to the thinking. I don't know. I just find that weird. So sometimes I find myself in situations where I'll just suddenly realize a situation. For example, quarantine. I'm just now actualizing and realizing. And it's not like a denial thing. It's just an attention span thing. I think it's a product of. I have ADHD. Not like severe ADHD, but like badly enough that I can barely pay attention or monitor what I say sometimes. But like, so what I've been thinking is like, maybe it's part of that, but what I've been thinking is social order, right? I've had a lot of time to think. We all have a lot of time to think. And, oh, that villager came flying back. Okay, villagers and rails, don't mix. But what I've been thinking about is social order and all that. And I'm actually going to talk about it this time, not just say I'm thinking about it. Because, like, something is like, okay, so, like, I think about this, like, something as simple as, like, hanging out with somebody different will completely change your status. At least, like, high school, middle school. But that doesn't, like, change as you get older, depending on which companies you associate with or which team you're working on in management at your job. It changes, and I mean, it's less brutal, actually. I think it's funny. People act like the older world is going to be much harder, and maybe it is. I don't have experience being an adult yet, but it seems a lot less brutal, because, like, there, nobody's able to help you, but you're able to help yourself. Whereas when you're a kid, you're at the mercy of other people in order to help you, and that's kind of the worst. Especially for someone like me, who, as I've stated in previous videos, I have a severe power complex. I'm just very aware of the fact that I do, and I'm able to manage it, but I have a huge complex of I won't let anybody else help me because I have to do it myself. Because, like, something I think about is we're in a very time-changing time. Like, history could be changed right now. We are in a very influential time. Not like the most influential time ever, but we are in a time that could be very influential. So when I think about that, I think, okay, somebody's got to influence this. Who's that somebody got to be? Well, that somebody's got to be me, because I'm the person who's thinking somebody's got to influence it. I'm not fit to influence the world. I am not diplomatic. I lose my temper. I'm not good enough. I can't do the cold steel face, and I can't convince people of things. But what like I'm the only one who can do it because I'm the only one who wants it to happen. Not the only one who wants it to happen, but I am a person who wants it to happen. So, oh no, he's bouncing back. But what I was saying, okay, he should be fine. Yeah, it's not a big deal. Oh, maybe I should fly down here and just stop one of the tracks, because he might go flying. Just break this, because I don't want to place a bunch of tracks again. Okay, I'll fix this. But with social order, I remember back when way back when, in my first year of middle school, long time ago. Okay, not that long ago, just like not 4, like, yeah, yeah, that was 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago, actually. I was not necessarily liked, because, like, everybody thought I was gay, but they had no proof, and of course they have mob mentality, so a thought is just enough to be proof. And, like, at the time, it was very obvious, and, like, oh, that villager is going to fall. And so the way I gained status was that the thing that defines your status is the first thing you do when people try and bully you. If you are a coward, then they will just keep bullying you because you're not going to do anything about it. So what I did is, of course, I am very quick to snap, I was a very troubled child at the time, and of course I'd lose my temper very easily. So if anybody tried to throw hands with me, I'd throw them through the floor, because I know how to fight pretty well. And then I gained status that way. People didn't want to mess with me because everybody thought I was crazy and was going to destroy them if they tried to mess with me. And then 8th grade comes around, second year of middle school, and I've learned a lot. I've evolved a lot and grown as a person, and I'm less violent. I mean, sure, I am willing to take steps towards violence for something I believe in, but if somebody throws a punch at me nowadays, for example, like, I'm even more mellow now, I would probably just block the punch and be like, okay, if you really want to throw hands, I will call the authorities, and if I can't, I will do what I have to defend myself, but I'm not going to mess you up unless I have to. But I think young me was looking for an excuse to beat somebody up. Like, in all honesty, I think I was just looking for an excuse. But what ended up happening was I gained status. Then in 8th grade, what happened was I wouldn't just start a fight with a guy for looking at me wrong. Also, here's the system where they spawn the buttons on the spawn point. We have this area blocked off, so that they don't spawn. That's why there haven't been any spawning so far. But like, I was in 8th grade, a lot more pacifistic. I was not necessarily going through as tough of a time, but like I had figured some things out because teenagers got to figure things out. They're going through a very impressionable time in their life with hormones and just getting out of elementary school and getting into meeting people from other places that they haven't met yet. Since like in elementary school it's like the same like 400, 500 people. And like every year there's like 50, 60 new people. But like, yeah, I got a villager over here, so I'm proud of that. But well, not necessarily all the way over here yet. Shouldn't gloat yet. But when somebody insulted me the first time when I came back to school because I had started identifying openly as trans, because as we all know, my name's Celise, I'm a female, but my voice sounds very male, but that's because like I'm transgender, whatever. Uh, if you really hate it, then unsubscribe or whatever. I really don't care. But yeah, someone insulted me over it, and I was just like, okay, whatever, and walked away. And like in 7th grade, I had a gay friend, because like everybody thought I was gay because I hung out with the one gay kid, and he was okay. He was pretty cool. I wouldn't say pretty cool. He was kind of a crybaby. He'd cry over a lot of things, but whenever people would bully him or start fights with him, I'd always end up finishing the fight because like, hey man, if you're gonna pick on somebody strong. That's my thing. If you want to fight to make yourself look powerful, fight somebody stronger than you. Because if you can beat somebody much stronger than you, imagine how powerful you are. But if you can beat somebody weaker than you, then you're not really doing anything but harassing people. So that's then when I did nothing about it, people decided it was time to start bullying me. And it got to the point that eventually somebody did try and throw hands with me, and of course I nailed them because I'm decently strong. I know what I'm doing, and a lot of kids don't know how to fight properly. And like, I didn't get in trouble or anything, and I didn't like break any bones or make him bleed. I just like threw him to the ground and was like, "Don't mess with me, okay?" Because like I didn't want to hurt anybody. Like I was at a point in my life where I realized that hurting people wasn't necessarily like worth it. Like what he insulted me and like he wanted to throw hands with me and wanted to fight, but like imagine how troubled he must be that he wants to pick on a kid he perceives as weaker. So like people always say if somebody bullies you, it's because they feel bad about themselves. Maybe he feels bad because like maybe his parents really suck, or maybe like somebody who would pick on somebody over something like that. Uh, man, their life must really suck. But the point I was trying to make is that my social status dropped from 7th grade from being somebody you didn't want to mess with, and then in 8th grade to somebody who is openly bullied, specifically because one, I came out openly as trans, and then later, and here's the farm in full completion. I just finished it up off camera for you guys, and then later I was more pacifistic. I wasn't aggressive. You stand right here to use the farm and just slash, and the pillagers will start coming up. But yeah, I was more pacifistic and I was openly trans, which dropped my status down from being someone who wasn't popular, but I wasn't unpopular. Like people knew who I was and people didn't want to mess with me and they left me to my own devices. And that was great cuz I don't like reckoning with other people sometimes. But okay, raid testing the farm. It's on easy mode just so that way I can just test the raid whenever. But my social status dropped originally because I was trans. That motivated people to start picking on me. Like, or maybe it was just because a year had passed, or like an entire summer had passed and they had forgotten. But, like, I had to reinstate my status, and I probably should have, but I didn't. I'm not sure if I made the right call or not, even now, even though it's been almost 2-3 years now since I was in second year of middle school, and I'm not exactly sure if I made the right call in being nice to people who are mean to me, because that gave them fuel to be even meaner because they realized, oh, we can be mean to this person, they'll do nothing about it. I should have probably put my foot down rather than just being like, you're stupid. But I don't know. Calling just if I it's hard to describe, you know, cuz like if you start a fight with somebody and you win physically, there's nothing they can do about it. But like then again, you just destroyed some kid for insulting you and your livelihood. I'm actually going to replace this with a button and see what I can do. Mess with this chamber a bit. But like, I mean, I never felt bad about it because they were picking on me unprovoked, but still, like, it's wrong. They're just kids, they don't know any better. But like when I think about it, did I make the right call on being nice? I don't know. And I may never know. And is this actually important? Is it important for anything? Does anything even matter? Well, I'm actually not sure, but maybe it's like the school system is similar to at least how they portray prison systems and shows. Like as soon as you get there, somebody's going to try and throw something at you, and the way you react determines who you are for the rest of the year. Oh, yeah, this is what I mean by sometimes they spawn other places. So we're going to have to cover that entire island with leaves or like dig a perimeter or something, cuz this is bad. We don't want them spawning here. But yeah, that's just something I wanted to talk about because like I said in another video called Future of JesterCraft, I was thinking about doing things like talking about philosophy, like pacifism versus aggression. Like I am very strongly of the opinion that violence is okay and that anybody should be able to own a weapon. And it's an odd opinion because I believe that violence is wrong, but I believe the only way to stop violence is violence. So it's a very contradictory system, but so is humanity when you think about it. Everything we do is contradictory. And that's just something I want you to think about. Like everything we are is literally a contradiction of ourselves. And the fact that that's even possible to have an entire species that contradicts itself is amazing cuz like we're a cooperative species, but we're always killing each other. We're going to wars. We're having domestic brutality. We have serial killers. We have people who kill each other in a cooperative thing. And that's just something I think about. How humans are just contradictions. But what else is a contradiction is liking and enjoying this video. So I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it and talking about things. But that'll be it for this one. Bowdy.